An important sub-skill related to reading is extensive reading. Extensive reading includes reading large amounts of text for an extended period of time. It's an important skill, and it may be considered to be a part of all important reading skills improvement courses. One cannot become a good reader. It's generally assumed that one cannot become a good reader unless he reads extensively. So there are several ways through which we could improve extensive reading among our students. First of all, it's not enough to tell your students that read a lot and always tell this to them within the classroom. A good teacher should also provide them the necessary materials for reading extensively, or guide them towards those materials. He should also prepare tasks based on such readings, and should keep on providing facilities, for example, libraries. It may not be a job of an individual teacher to make libraries, but he could do so with the help of institutional managers. It may happen within the classroom or within the institution. Extensive reading materials involve interesting, interactive, and attractive materials which are according to the level of the learners. By that we mean that it should be according to the language skills already acquired by the students. Because if we put them to read something which is beyond their language skills already acquired, they would waste a lot of time in knowing the meanings of individual words. So that would kill the very spirit of extensive reading. So teachers should make sure that books which are given to students for extensive reading are according to the level of the students and are readily accessible as well. There could be some specially written materials which are used in various parts of the world. For example, language learner literature, and we could find its example in Bamford's works. And such readings are also called graded readers or simplified readers. There could be actual fiction, original fiction, and non-fiction which could be used for extensive reading purposes, or the simplified forms of such fiction. And the writers or adapters who develop such material for extensive reading, they are well aware of the level of the students, and they use only that vocabulary and structures which are useful for a certain level of learners. And target learners can read them with confidence and ease. These books also create an environment which would encourage students to read them. Library facilities are key to extensive reading because students have to read a lot, and therefore they need a lot of resources. Therefore, as I said earlier, teachers and institutions should make special efforts to create libraries, well-stocked libraries, which carry the material of students' interest. In this regard, a teacher's role is very important. He should know what his students may like. Such a facility may be costly in some situations, but it's an activity which would be worth for the money. While making libraries, teachers or other administrators should keep a good record of the books in line with students' interests and their level of understanding. And therefore, the classification of books should be made quite clear to the students. And a teacher might explain that. The role of teacher is very important in extensive reading in classrooms. He is an organizer. He arranges material or provides materials to the students. He also makes sure that what his students wants to read, he keeps an eye on the interest of his students. He keeps records of the amounts of reading his students have already done. This is very important for a teacher who believes in improving the extensive reading among his students. And he also, if possible, try to create a reading lab within the institution. Tutor A teacher is also a tutor because he reads aloud various materials which may be of the interest to the students, and this motivates students to read as well. He visits school library in order to again encourage his students and also to have a look at what kind of readings is being done by students. He also explains his students how to make a choice about a reading. If they are confused about it, he can tell them various ways how to choose a certain text based on their own interest. He's a motivator. As I said earlier, he persuades his students to read more by focusing on the benefits of extensive reading. In this regard, he might create incentives for reading a lot. He may give his students some kind of benefits in form of assessment or in form of verbal encouragement. He may allow students to take books home so that they can read easily. There could be multiple tasks which could be introduced to improve extensive reading. For example, a teacher may ask his students to manage weekly reading diaries on which they write down what have they read so far or what they intend to read in the coming week. They could also be asked to write short book reviews about the books they have already read, and it may also include record charts which may be displayed in the classroom as well. And oral interviews could be also an effective tool. A teacher can frankly ask his students what they have read and what they have learned from what they have read.